Greenleaf Nursery's Hidden Lake location just outside of Fort Gibson, and joining us today is Danny Fountain, who is the manager of this location. And Danny, you guys are a liner operation, which is a little bit different than the main nursery in Park Hill that we visited. Can you tell us what that means to be a liner grower?
Yes, okay, so when we started this, Greenleaf did in 1984 with the intention of growing high quality liners that they were previously having to buy from other locations around the country.
So first of all, before we go into what's a liner? Because it's a plant.
It is a plant
Yeah.
that's grown in the field.
Yeah.
So we have, many varieties out here. We're doing lots of trees, lots of shrubs, but we are primarily growing liners for Greenleaf Nursery's 3 divisions.
Okay.
So we'll grow those. We'll line some out. A lot of times they'll stay in there for 3 years, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. But we're lining those out, and we'll grow them and develop a nice plant for our container division, so they can actually put them in a container and then go ahead and finish them out for the customers.
And a lot of times we think of liners being small plants that you grow for larger trees and stuff for containers, but you're also growing shrubs and things like that also out here.
Yes, correct. We are. There's several varieties that do very well out in the field setting, and so we take a lot of the shift part out of it, which is, costs a lot more money to shift a plant out of a bucket and grow it in a bucket than it does in the field. It's a lot cheaper to grow it in a field setting.
Okay.
And so any of those varieties that we can do that and have success, we'll tend to do that, and that'll just cut our costs down some.
Right. So how do you start this growing the liners? I mean, is it from seed or cuttings, or what are you doing?
We do some of both, but we're standing here today in our seed bed area, and all these plants you see were started from seed, and they were planted starting in December of this year. They were planted, we go up through April. We try to get them all in the ground by April, but they'll grow 1 year as a seedling, and we'll start digging these out after one full growing season. Usually.
So we've got pecans behind us and some red buds and oaks. So this is all 1 year's growth from seed.
Absolutely, yeah. These have just started. They come out, this spring, and what you see here is so far how they've grown, and they'll grow up until September. So we've still got quite a bit of growing to do, but they definitely can do really well. And this ground we have it's pretty good ground.
And
rich in nutrients.
Yeah, they're getting pretty packed in there. So what's the process after that first year?
That first year we come in, and when they go dormant in December, and we will actually run an undercutter under them. It's got a shaker on it that basically when they get done running it under there, it'll shake the dirt loose. And we'll come in with, we've built some racks that we come in, and basically once we dig them, we'll have crews come behind and they'll put them in the racks, and then they'll actually go down into our cold storage facility. We have about a 14,000 square foot cold storage facility that we put our liners in. It's refrigerated, and so we keep it 36 to 38 degrees with the humidity we need to keep the plants viable.
Right.
And then we'll go into the grading process and actually grade all of these liners out and to the appropriate sizes depending on what they're going to be used for.
And so are these then planted out in the field again so that they have more space to grow, or what do you do with these after that?
Yes, now there's some groups, the oaks there that we're looking at. A lot of those will actually go into either a 1 or a 3. They do have a pretty long taproot, so we tend to want to go ahead and shift them up earlier because they don't transplant as well from a bigger liner. So we'll use those. We'll go directly into containers with some of those.
A 1 to 3 gallon container.
Yes.
Okay. Is that because of their roots and stuff like that?
Yeah, they do tend to have a pretty good taproot,
Okay.
so we'll go ahead and try to get those shifted so we don't have as many losses.
Gotcha.
And then we have a lot of the varieties we have out here. There's some pecans and some of the English or Eastern redbud. Those will be used, a lot of those will be grafting onto those and putting a lot of the newer different type grafts that we have and different type varieties. So we use a lot of this is for a purpose of what they call understock, which is to just basically use their root system.
All right.
Yeah.
So here we've got some native pecans, but you're going to graft some paper shell cultivars onto that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That is what the intent of these seedlings will be. We just, like I say, they're native. We picked them up here locally, and so we'll go ahead and plant them out in the field, and we'll be grafting those. The next following year, we'll be putting the paper shell varieties on them.
And of course, with the Eastern redbud, we all know they're native, and so having a native hardy rootstock, that's going to be a hardier plant for us.
Right.
But you also then you're able to put a different cultivar on there that might be showy or something like that.
Yes, we do have. We have, I think, well over 15 varieties of redbud that we're doing. Different varieties have different characteristics. So yeah, we have lots to choose from as far as the redbud goes.
So can we go take a look at some of those grafted red buds you might have growing?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's go. So Danny, all of those redbud seeds, a lot of them end up here, but they look so different now. You've got grafts on them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, they get put down here, and we'll plant them. We planted these last year, and we went in here last year and we actually put the different type buds that we do down here, the different varieties.
And you do it really, you graft it really close to the ground, actually?
Yes, yeah, we try to put it about 2 inches or so below the ground so that we have a nice, there where your graft union is, it's nice and low as we can get it and straight. Do a lot of work with stakes and papering to get them to, to be as straight as possible, because we want a good quality, high quality tree. You know, is what we're trying to do. But yes, this is it's what we do with a lot of those seedlings. They come up and get lined out in the field, and then we do our budding and come up with all these different colors.
Time invested in these plants before they ever see the nursery where they're sold.
Absolutely.
Like let's kind of go through that timeline. You got a year over with the seeds, and then how long do they stay here?
Yes, this is their second year, so they'll have 2 full years here.
Okay.
And then we dig them this winter. They'll get put in a container for at least 1 year, and sometimes 2.
Okay. So
you're looking at least 4 years before they actually go out the gate.
All right. So sometimes when we question the price on a tree, now we know why it might be a little...
So many prunings and so much labor has to go into these trees before they're ever to the market. So yeah.
Well, one more question about, you've got a lot of seed genetic diversity over there. Do you ever find anything unique growing amongst all those different seedlings?
Absolutely, and we're always looking for that, because we always want to come up with new varieties. But matter of fact, right here is some plant that's the Burgundy Hearts redbud that was found over 15 years ago, and they were actually found from sports and from seedlings out in some of the seeds we grew.
Yeah,
they have a beautiful burgundy color, and there was one called Forest Pansy before it, but this one proved to be so much color held so much better and a deeper burgundy. So we researched that for several years, and now it's in production and doing very well.
So this was just a naturally found sport growing amongst all those seedlings.
It was, and we went through all the trialing and process that we do there to make sure that it was true to what it looked like it was. And sure enough, this has turned out to be a really, really good variety for us.
Yeah. Well, it's excellent and beautiful, and thank you for sharing all of this with us. This is great to know about the history and kind of what makes our trees get to our nursery.
Well, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.